One by one, they will all be gone. It's keeping up with the Kennedys. Now, there's a lot of wacky and zany reasons as to why the Kennedy family keeps mysteriously dying. Wikipedia calls it a curse. But I'll be real with you. I'm the CIA agent that was there, hitman style, every single time on one of the Kennedy's deaths. August 12th, 1944, Joseph P. Kennedy Jr. died when the aircraft he was piloting exploded over East Suffolk, England. Yeah, well, we actually just shot it down with a fighter jet, right? September 9th, 1994, same year, William Cavendish, Marquis of Hartington, a newlywed husband of Kathleen Kennedy, while leading his company near Heppen, Belgium. I was that German doing the undercover work, you know what I'm saying? I was that guy. August 23rd, 1956, Arabella Kennedy died at birth. I was the doctor. I was the midwife, making sure that baby didn't come out as planned. You feel me? August 9th, 1963, Patrick Bouvier Kennedy died of infant respiratory distress syndrome 2 days after his premature birth. I was the nanny, and the only thing distressed was me strangling that little cocksucker. November 22nd, 1963, U.S. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald. Now, naturally, the CIA didn't want to pay me my price per hit after they went up. After in 1963, my prices went up after strangling that little baby. So they got a fucking amateur and completely fucked it up. His shaking nervousness was a big factor as we were watching the president roll out of view, right? We're like, this guy's fucking hesitant. This guy's not gonna fucking do it, right? The little bastard couldn't do it. So I go to hit him to shoot, and the fucker hits his neck. And fucking, of course, you could see that that he missed all his major arteries, right? You hit him in the neck, but he's fucking still gonna live after this. I could see it clearly, so the training the CIA does, you could find several arteries on a person's neck pretty easily. Yeah, and he missed all his arteries, so I had luckily set up a Rube Goldberg machine to fire a spare. To fire in a space that I rented a spare apartment bedroom across the fucking street as a backup plan. Hence, the second shooter theory that hit him back and to the left, right? That was just my elaborate Rube Goldberg machine where it hit a series of trinkets and locks and weird little marbles rolling through, all leading to a gunshot that fires and killing, the then President John F. Kennedy. June 5th, 1968. U.S. Senator and U.S. Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy was shot by Sirhan Sirhan in the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles on the night of his victory. In the Californian primary, Robert died the following morning. I know, he would have lived off of that assassination attempt, but I came in and I smothered him with some pillows at 6 a.m. as the gunshot wound was taking way too long, right? April 25th, 1984, 1984, like George Orwell's famous book. David A. Kennedy died of a drug overdose in Palm Beach, Florida hotel room. I was his crooked dealer, selling him what he thought was a bag of coke, but I laced that shit. Fentanyl. December 31st, 1997. Michael Lee Moyne Kennedy died in a skiing accident after crashing into a tree in Aspen, Colorado. I was his skiing instructor, and the boys in CIA had those pop-up trees coming up from the ground. You know, those ones that are hidden and they pop up like a cartoon almost. July 16th, 1999, John F. Kennedy Jr. died when the plane he was piloting crashed into the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. I was his co-pilot. There was only one parachute in that plane. I clearly was the only one making it out of that plane, right? September 16th, 2011, Kara Kennedy died of a heart attack while exercising in Washington, D.C.'s health club. She was on a treadmill that I had rigged to go faster and faster until her heart just exploded. She couldn't handle it, right? She couldn't, at a certain point in the treadmill, she couldn't get off. It was going way faster than her. She would have had to fall off, and she just kept running until her heart exploded. May 16th, 2012, Mary Richardson Kennedy died by suicide on the grounds of her home in Bedford, New York. Ah, yes, the old 4 gunshots to the back of the head. Classic suicide, right? I shot her multiple times in the back of the head while she wasn't looking. And they ruled it as a suicide because no one ever questions what we do here at the CIA. August 1st, 2019. Serios Kennedy Hill, granddaughter of Robert F. Kennedy, died of accidental overdose after being found unresponsive at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. I was the first responder on the scene. This was quite simple, really. I just gave her mouth to mouth, and I didn't take, when you're supposed to do those breathe and compressions. I just didn't compress her. I just kept blowing into her mouth to the point where her lungs blew up like balloons popping at a children's party. I just exploded her lungs, right? Still ruled as an overdose of oxygen. April 2nd, 2020, Maeve Kennedy McKean disappeared with her 8-year-old son Gideon during a short canoe trip in the Chesapeake Bay. Their bodies were recovered at the Chesapeake Bay later that week. I was that canoe salesman that sold them a boat with a hole in it, right? Those bastards there's a little tiny little coin-shaped hole. They didn't even check for leaks. Taking that damn boat out on the fucking bay, you know what I mean? And I say all of this in confidence. As my CIA organization knows that there ain't shit you guys can do, right? We're coming out with it, you know what I mean? We're just saying that this bastard RFK Jr., he's been fucking quite the squabbly little bat. He's been fucking very elusive. The CIA's plans to eventually snuff out Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who currently is set to run for president, much like his uncle. Tisk tisk, when will you fucking Kennedys learn, right? When will you guys fucking learn, right? How many times does the CIA have to teach you a fucking lesson, you old man? Ever since a baby, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been a crafty SOB. I brought a knife one late night while he was sleeping in his crib as a baby, and I went to go slit his throat, and the little baby slipped the blade and wrestled it out of my hands. This baby had incredible strength for a little infant child, right? leaving RFK Jr. with a lightning bolt shaped scar. I was able to cut him. I got a little bit of blood off of that little baby, but he took the blade and I had to run into the night, but before anyone was the wiser. And the lightning bolt shaped scar in the middle of his forehead, much like Harry Potter. From his birth, the CIA knew we were in trouble. He's managed to invade 2,835 assassination attempts so far, right? This is wild, right? This is crazy, right? On his 5th birthday, we got him a ninja clown. The clown came back with several animal balloons, balloons in the shape of an animal, lodged in his lower intestine, right? The clown couldn't shit. The clown was shitting balloon animals for fucking the next few months to come. On his 8th birthday, we got him a poisonous cake. RFK Jr. was watching his carb intakes at the time, so he did not eat any of the cake at his own party, right? Now, practically everyone at that party did though, and the casualties were through the roof. The CIA chalked it up to drug overdoses, all of them, right? When RFK Jr. turned 9, I started dressing like Mrs. Doubtfire and began babysitting the little unkillable bastard. In the evenings, when I was all home, when I was all alone with him, the maids and the cooks went home for the night and spent time with their family. I spent most of my time chasing that little bugger in a Home Alone style event, right? He would run down the stairs and pull a string while I'd follow him, setting off a series of marbles, ensuring that I'd comically fall down the stairs in hilarity, right? Fucker. One time I opened up his bedroom door and a beehive fell on top of my head. Now this kid means war. This kid means fuck it. This kid's crafty. These sort of wacky antics ensued for 9 more years until RFK turned 18 and threw an extravagant birthday party in Japan's Shaolin Temple. The CIA said fuck it and hired 100 Ronin samurais trained and mastered in the art of Bushido, dressed in their full suits of armor. Dressed to the nines, right? These are fucking Ronin, Japanese Ronin savage samurais, right? All with no home and no master, just ready to fucking kill. These are fucking. And we get to the temple. RFK Jr., who was best friends with an African American at the time, which only enraged the CIA even more, right? This was no ordinary Negro on our hands. This was the legendary Afro Samurai. He helped RFK Jr. study the blade beyond perfection. Now, 18 hours of non-stop Kill Bill action sword fighting left our 100 Ronin samurai soldiers in a bloody mess, right? The fucking it was amazing, right? The Afro Samurai back to back with RFK Jr. against 100 Ronin samurai soldiers, right? Just fucking. And these guys, they were both dressed in that yellow and black attire, that like joggers, with a little headband wrapped around them, going back to back, slicing each other. It was a crazy event. It was 18 hours. If it wasn't for the fact that the CIA was trying to kill them, it would be a great footage for a documentary of some kind, right? Quentin Tarantino would love to direct that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy fucking shit, right? You had to be there, right? And if you were there, you probably get executed. You know what I'm saying? The CIA doesn't like to tell you about its losses. We don't acknowledge that, right? You know what I'm saying? It was fucking crazy though. Blood everywhere. It's crazy, man. It would look like, I'd say, it looked like some sort of fucking cool little anime scenes, but for 18 hours. Just imagine for 18 hours, right? When RFK Jr. turned 22, he got involved with the Russian mafia, a big no-no for the CIA at this time, right? At the time, the CIA was fucking doing the space race with fucking Russia. You know what I mean? They've been mad ever since, right? The Russians trying to get the fucking to be the first on the moon, right? He got drunk and robbed a train and he even got busted for heroin possession when he got back home. He spent a small amount of time locked up. Now, while RFK was in jail, the guards refused to feed him, right? The CIA offered $20,000 USD, US dollars, 20 racks, 20 grand for every meal he'd miss, right? So of course, the guards made sure that this guy didn't eat. You know what I mean? This guy was in there for like 2 years, right? The son of a bitch learns photosynthesis and was absorbing proteins through light or some shit. I don't even know how that shit fucking works. He did something. But for 2 years, he was just using photosynthesis in terms of gaining energy so that he could still stay alive, right? Crafty. When Robert F. Kennedy Jr. turned 27, the CIA was adamant about him joining the 27 club of youthful celebs all mysteriously dying at 27, right? In the CIA, it's almost like a tradition. It's a time-tail event when someone of monetary influence and power turns 27, that we just fucking kill him. We just kill him and make it, you know what I mean? It's like one of those coup de grace, you know what I mean? A little signature on a painting. It's how the CIA does it's all of the people that die at 27 is in fact a CIA death, right? It's a CIA murder, right? Jimi Hendrix, right? Jimi Hendrix was making music that changed the landscape of how we think, right? And day-to-day operate, right? He was creating too much freedom of the everyday worker, right? Getting, you know what I mean? You can't fucking work in a steel mill for 12 hours a day, getting low pay when you hear the first fucking synopsis of Purple Haze. You're not going to work. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of people unemployed. And it was partly, in fact, because of Jimi Hendrix. So we assassinated him, right? You know, we gave him too much drugs or heroin or whatever the fuck we did. But either way, all the people that died. Jim Morrison, right? The Doors. He was opening up doors for the youth. We got him there. You know, we just had to, it's just all, any celebrity that dies 27, it's certainly by the hands of the CIA operatives. It's sort of, a CIA tradition. It's sort of it's the hazing or the pledging of getting into a fraternity, right? We got him hooked on sex, drugs, and or rock and roll. But the bastard lived through it like fucking Ozzy fucking Osbourne, you know what I'm saying? At the age of 30, the CIA invited him out to a remote mansion deep in the woods as part of an AI turning process, under the guise that we wanted him to test out the machine to see if it was indistinguishable from a human. Now we had this very fucking sexy robot. We had this sexy fucking robot, right? This robot could turn fucking Elton John, this robot could get Elton John fucking rock hard, you know what I'm saying? This robot was sexy, perfect, divine, if you will, right? This killer robot. And over the course of being with RFK, all of the fucking programming that we had in this robot slowly started to change, and this stupid fucking robot started falling madly in love with him, and even helped him escape before being convinced by Robert F. Kennedy to join a lifelong, and dedicate its fucking artificial life to volunteering its time to helping the needy children in the Congos. Ooh, this Kennedy was crafty. Ooh, this fucking guy, man. He's foiled the robot. He's foiled the 100 Japanese samurais. He just keeps like water off a duck's back. This son of a bitch keeps fucking evading us, right? Now, by his mid-30s, RFK Jr. got a special invite to a secluded island where he was to do some work on the Amazon rainforest, right? This is what we told him. This is what we told the guy, right? We say, hey, listen, this is fucking, there's a lot of trees being cut down in the Amazon rainforest, and there's, we're trying to stop that. We went, it was very, very he got the invite, and he's got his fucking trip booked. He's got his plane ticket going. Now, what we didn't tell RFK is that the CIA had genetically modified a monkey and a lizard to the size of skyscrapers, right? And we had them all. We said fuck it. We threw a couple of we brought back Jurassic Park in that motherfucker. We had little dinosaurs and brontosauruses, all, the fucking T-Rexes all running around that island, man. It was fucking crazy, man. He's fucking, what I mean? A sure thing. It was a sure thing, right? No little human can survive fucking when there's fucking a giant ape the size of a fucking skyscraper and a fire-breathing lizard roaming the island, right? It was a sure thing. They had one job, to kill Kennedy, but the giant monkey and the giant lizards just ended up fighting with each other, man. Fucking embarrassing, man. It was fucking embarrassing, right? It was a lot of tax dollars. Listen, a lot of tax dollars, right? This is the reason why inflation is so high. The CIA is taking the 90% of the government spending is trying to kill RFK Jr., right? I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be real with y'all motherfuckers, right? Like clockwork, we have spent an infinite amount of money. You think about how much money it is to genetically alter a monkey's DNA to the point where the monkey is unrecognizably large. It's huge. It's a big ape. They called him King Kong, right? And the other one was Godzilla. The lizard was Godzilla. You know how hard it is to take a tiny little lizard and morph its DNA into as big as its foot. Its foot is as big as the width of a fucking building, and it somehow could breathe fire, right? It somehow could breathe fire. We had to work with China on that one, or Japan. We had to work with one of those gook countries, and we fucking didn't get them. They ended up fighting each other, right? So we sent them back on a boat, right? A U-boat, German U-boat. We sent him back home with a ferocious tiger, thinking that'll do the trick, right? Just a tiger, just because it wasn't a genetically modified tiger. It wasn't a very comically large tiger. It wasn't a fire-breathing tiger. It was just a tiger, right? Just fucking throw him on the boat with a tiger. That'll do. The tiger's eventually gonna get hungry, right? The fucker came back best friends with the goddamn tiger. He potty trained the tiger. And he got the tiger to take shits off of the boat. How this fucking RFK. Listen, man. RFK is one of those enigmas in the CIA. He's, as much as we want to black him out of the records, the fucking guy keeps coming back like the cat in the thimble or whatever the fuck, where the cat just keeps coming back. The cat just keeps coming back. As soon as we seen him come up on shore with the boat, fucking cigars, all of our smokes just dropped from our mouths. We were left dumbfounded. Our jaws hit the floor. And speaking of jaws, we fucking, we had sent several comically large sharks to rip this boat to pieces. But he killed them off over the course of 4 movies that got cornier and cornier as the series went on, right? Now, I don't know, man, where the fuck the CIA gets these animals from. But that tiger should have done the trick, but it was fucking friendlier than the fucking from Tigger. It's just friendlier than Tigger from fucking Winnie the Pooh, right? Now, the only reason RFK is able to run for office is because we put the papers that he had to, all those legal papers and all those legal documents that you had to sign and fill out the information. He said, he was very adamant, right? And we finally said, fuck it, all right, these the only papers that you got that we're willing to accept and will allow him to run, is in this giant temple, right? With a series of booby traps, right? And a giant boulder set off, right? So he had the papers there, and he had to replace the papers but he couldn't do it in time, right? He had to sign the papers and leave them there. But it set off a giant boulder, and he had to run through the temple. There's deadly spikes. There's a lot of fucking, arrows shooting through at him. It was time censored too, so as he was running, the boulder was coming down. There's spikes. There's fire coming out from the ground. There's a lot of fucking alligator. There's a beam, right? It was a comically small beam that kind of rocked back and forth while he had to run across, and there was a pool of alligators, right? The alligators chomping at him if he were to fall. He fucking didn't fall, right? Fucking. And then as the boulder was coming down, it was tearing down the roof of the temple, and it was collapsing, and he slid underneath the fucking closing door in the last second. So we gotta let this son of a bitch fucking run for presidency. He did all of these, charismatic things. You know what I mean? They called him Robert F. Jones after that one. It was fucking. It's fucking embarrassing, right? Again, the temple alone was at least $4.3 billion. And it's fucking very hard to find a perfectly round boulder that big, right? They don't just come out. They don't make perfectly round boulders, you know what I mean? Like that. They don't. It fucking it came from Europe. We had to fly that boulder in, and he just ran out of that thing, signed the papers, and ran out. Oh, I hate our RFK Jr. so fucking much. He's so crafty. I gotta give it to him though. He's a good enemy, right? We threw more blundering hitmen at RFK Jr. than the John Wick franchise. We even killed the guy's dog too, you know what I'm saying? Now, as technology advanced, we decided to do more and more covert brainwashing techniques. After watching Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in Inception, several steps were made to the dream sequence espionage, right? This was, we'd hop in people's dreams and we'd convince them to kill themselves and stuff like that. Just the everyday CIA, typical CIA clock, just on the clock job, we gotta do what we gotta do, right? We hop in, the son of a dictator's dreams, and we convince him that to kill his father and set up democracy and trade with U.S. That's just some of the various techniques we would use that for, right? RFK Jr., now deep in his 40s, was boarding a plane. The CIA bought the plane and the pilot. The flight was from New York to Singapore. And we had all the equipment lined up. We had all the little dream in the movie Inception, right? You may think it's just a little couple of wires. No, but we had like a big little tube that goes around your head with little weird antenna wires sticking out of it. Giant briefcase to open up the laptop to sequence ourselves into the dreams. And we had all the equipment. It was all set up. All the couple of fucking actors to play along with the flight, his flight, and the flight attendants. We paid them all off, right? It would have been perfect. It would have fucking worked perfectly if the bastard fell asleep on a fucking over 19-hour flight. This fucking guy didn't fall asleep once. He stayed awake. And listen, there's on-flight movies that he could have been watching. He stared directly at the back of the seat for 19 hours, twiddling his thumbs, just looking at the fucking back of a seat, blank screen. Didn't even pay. The bastard didn't even. Here we're spending so much money on the dream sequencing technology, all funded by the taxpayer, by the way. All funded by all the stuff that I mentioned through. It's all funded by the taxpayer. We're trying our best to assassinate for reasons that elude me at this point. It's just vengeance at this point. It's just vengeance. We did, though. He left a piece of hair in his in his food tray. Right there's a piece of hair. So we took this hair and we cloned him. We cloned RFK Jr. because we have at this point we're deep in the thousands of attempts of assassinating Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We've realized that the only way to kill Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is to get into the mind of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. To be the only man to kill him is himself, right? So we cloned this unkillable bastard. We cloned him, and it was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. 2.0, right? We set on a journey. We trained this guy deep. We trained him deep matrix sequences of training, right? We keep training this guy to kill Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And then when it finally came down to it, right, he met in a weird in an abandoned warehouse. Imagine somewhere, it was sometime in the Wall Street collapse in 2008, somewhere around there, and all the offices in these Wall Street banks and hedge fund offices, they're all fucking packed up and gone, and the real RFK Jr. was going around desk to desk, just kind of taking it all in, being sad, thinking how fucking. So he's probably thinking some bullshit to himself, right? He was looking at all the desks and all the people losing their jobs and the collapse of the economy. Probably thinking clearly to himself, like, wow, the American tax dollar the American taxpayers getting fucked again, right? By big banking and big financial shit. Some bullshit, right? That pisses our organization off even further, right? So we fucking, as he's in that empty, abandoned fucking hedge fund managing office, we set off RFK Jr. 2.0, right? Is the black ops Kennedy, you know what I mean? He was like fucking Rambo, a little bit of Rambo and Bruce Willis combined, right? And at this one, he had a bandana on, and he's fucking, and he had a fucking assault rifle, and he was gone down to kill this guy, right? But there's so many elevators and it's big offices, so he had trouble finding the place, right? Anyways, long story short, by the time he found RFK Jr.'s fucking assassin, the Black Ops RFK Jr., found him, and he was sitting at a desk, and he RFK, the real one, he said, it's funny. I was waiting for them to clone me after I left that piece of hair. And that stunned our fucking clone. It threw him off, right? He took his finger off the trigger. He set his gun down. He said, come have a seat with me, man. I'll tell you why you truly exist. And the clone, now, completely unaware of his own existence, started taking in information from the real RFK Jr. to the point where he wanted to fucking vote for him. He said, you know what? The real RFK Jr., you've got my vote if you end up running officially in the next presidential election, you have my vote. He fucking turned his evil clone to his side. Again, this is why this man is so dangerous. He's such a problem to the government and the CIA's morals. He's fucking crafty. You know what I mean? I never met a person this good with intentions this pure, and he's got a very, 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 much like John F. Kennedy, his uncle, and his father, he's got a very charismatic way of thinking that can get you wrapped up into thinking of the betterment of humanity, which fucking is going against CIA morality and the CIA's fucking quota. You know what I mean? Where we fucking kill whoever we want, whenever we want, as long as we're feeding money into fucking Lockheed Martin. Fucking JFK would be spinning in his grave right now, right? Just get assassinated like the family tradition guy. Fucking guy, right? Then, after the fucking failed cloning attempt, we finally, got him set up, right? This is after the fucking, after oh, wait a minute. What am I talking about? After the Inception mishap and the cloning debacle, we led RFK Jr. to Shutter Island, a place for the criminally insane. But the motherfucker began doing psychological therapy treatments on many of the patients that were there, right? This fucking guy started helping these fucking batshit crazy insane people, and he even got the island to start looking after itself, right? It wasn't as spooky as before. He cleaned up a lot of the rust in the prisoners fucking bars, and it started getting to a point where fucking people Shutter Island became actually quite an enjoyable fucking island, right? You'd take a family vacation there, right? And it's like, fuck, man. And he ended up undoing decades of deep-seated brainwashing techniques that the CIA were involved in, right? So that was a fail. Again, the fucking it'll take fucking decades to brainwash these fucking these mental patients again, right? He fucking again, all at the taxpayers, all on the taxpayers' dime, right? We're at this point, we're so deep in the RFK Jr. I don't even know why we're supposed to fucking kill him at this point, but it's just tradition to kill the Kennedys. Then we get to the Joe Rogan appearance that he had. Now, we paid Joe 10 times the amount of money he got from his Spotify deal in order to just lace his microphone with a tiny bit of cyanide and anthrax, right? Just a little amount, Joe. That's it. Right? It's just going to be enough for him while he's fucking talking on the microphone. He's breathing it in for a couple hours. He should be dead. You know what I mean? He'll wake up the next morning dead, right? This is a no-brainer. At this point, we're fucking kind of losing creative points if we get him this way, but we're just trying to get him. We're just trying to clean him up. You know, no muss, no fuss. Thank you, Joe Rogan. Here's a big bag of money that we got from the taxpayer money. Here's a big bag of money, Joe. That's it. We'll be okay. But after years of trying to poison the bugger, he must have been immune. Because we were walking out of that 3-hour conversation. Because he walked out of that 3-hour conversation without even a minor headache. Fucking crazy, right? And he just kept talking about how, oh, the CIA keeps trying to kill me, and oh, the CIA doesn't, they don't allow me to have presidential fucking security. And shut the fuck up, RFK. Shut the fuck up, alright? The next few years, the CIA have planned, that after this, right? We're in the present. Now we get to the present time. In the next few years, the CIA have plotted and planned several Marvel-esque cinematic universe rollout assassination attempts. One involving Thanos. We just kind of give Thanos all the fucking Infinity Stones and we let him loose, right? We just let him do his thing. We also got Venom in a jar, right? And we're gonna throw Venom onto him at a party, right? It'll be looked at as like maybe he'll be wearing fur or something, and we'll go and throw like a paint of a can of paint, a black paint on him, but it's Venom, right? We just throw Venom on him, and hope for the best on that one. We even got Snoop Dogg dressed as Spider-Man and convinced Spider Snoop that RFK is planning on criminalizing weed again, right? Marijuana is a very big thing for Snoop Dogg, so we're just thinking about doing that, right? We've also got Captain America to just fucking. We got Captain America, but we put thousands of hours of brainwashing Nazi techniques into him, and we convinced, Nazi Captain America that RFK Jr. is a Jew, right? We just did that. We got that on the sideline. There's so many more things that we could do. And RFK Jr. has to realize, right? He has to realize that we're never going to give up, right? He thinks he's going to run for president and fix up the economy and do what his father and his uncle set out to do, which is dismemberment, cut up the CIA into thousands of pieces and sprinkle it in the air like some Mary Tyler Moore bullshit at the end of a fucking, life isn't like that, RFK Jr. You gotta understand, we're gonna get you one way or another. We're gonna find you. We're gonna get you one way or another, RFK Jr. We're gonna see you. I get you. So again, in all of the CIA's attempts and all of the tax dollars that we've spent, we have to look not at the past failures, but we have to look towards the future. A nice, bright future where the CIA could look at their X'd out names that of all the Kennedys on their big lists of plots and crazy conspiracies. They can go, we've got a full bingo on the Kennedy family. We got a full it's just, that's it, guys. It's just a full bingo. That's what they're doing, because the CIA, once you get a full bingo, you get a free pizza.